Today, we are joined by Sanjay Sawant, who runs a career counseling organization founded in 2011. His organization was recently roped in by the Maharashtra government to conduct aptitude tests for students in Mumbai and Konkan regions. He will be talking to us about his patented CAP method, career analysis and planning, that helps students by creating a personalized report to identify the subconscious motivations, personality traits, and their corresponding talents. So, Sanjay, parents and students were already facing a lot of dilemma over studies and career. With the situation around COVID, it has only got compounded. What does this mean for the traditional career choices of medical, engineering, and finance? And what are the trends that you have been noticing in the kind of queries that are posed to you by parents and students today?
Let me start by thanking you for picking up this subject because it is a subject which is required to have a center space, but most of the time it is overlooked by parents and students. And COVID or no COVID, basic factor remains that in India, education has been used as a medium for career. So most people still, as we normally see, people still think education is career. So somebody says engineering, medicine, BA, BCom, science, arts, which actually is not career. It is basically education.
Right.
Education is a means which most of the time people don't even think of. People in India are basically carried away because the entire system has been hijacked by selling courses. So most of the time, career counseling that has been happening in India, and even today that happens. If you go Google and search for career guidance, you will see everybody who is still sticking on to giving various courses as the solution as career guidance. So fashion design or MBAs or hotel management. These are all education courses. Everybody is selling their own course, and they are least bothered whether the person on the other side requires that course or not, or whether it is suiting him or not. So the aspect or the mindset which needs to be changed overall is the way we look at career. Like even right now, when we see, we mostly call it as aptitude test. Now, why do we call it aptitude test? See, in 1950s in the US, aptitude tests were designed because the US was going through a churn. There was a recession there, and they wanted to give. The government was giving jobs, and they were realizing that most of the people were not suiting the jobs. So they tried to ask the universities to do some research to find how we can classify these people, whether this guy should go into office work or this guy should go into military or should go into cooking sections or technical sections or so that's where they design certain technical tests which are called aptitude tests to check whether this basic aptitude for maths, aptitude for logic, aptitude for language. So that's a thing which is very, very, very narrow. And over the last 70 years, there has been a lot of changes globally in this entire segment of career guidance. So getting education is something which requires your ability to pass the exam, which is secondary. But career is a different ball game, and that's why I keep on telling parents that don't worry about the marks of 10th standard, 12th standard, and all, because I have seen IIT gold medalist not succeed in a career and a 35% 10th standard being successful in a career. So career is a different ball game. You need to look at it from a different perspective, and this mindset is where we are struggling with. But still, where we are looking at is the masses are still not aware about the difference between career and education, the difference between an aptitude test, which is a very small 10%, like even our test identifies the aptitude, but it also identifies 10, 12 aptitudes, which is still 10% of the entire profile of a person. People simply say, okay, you should do science, you should do commerce, you should do arts, and then they try to use that database. Again, give it to the coaching classes who start convincing, oh, if you're a science, you should do IIT. IIT is great. There are a lot of misconceptions and there are a lot of insecurities among parents.
Sure.
They feel that once they put their child into a particular coaching class or into a particular university by paying donations or whatever, they will have a great career, which sadly enough, if they try to analyze the past students, ex-students of that particular school and see how much percentage of them are actually gone into that field or benefited from it, that would help a lot. But this is an area of ignorance. The first step again is to create the right mindset when looking at education.
Right. So, Sanjay, now education has traditionally been seen as an area of investment by parents. Like if you invest in the right education streams, that is what will lead to success in career. So, and of course, traditionally some streams of education have been favored more than others, like science over arts, or medical or engineering. Now, does that still hold true, or like what how do you go about guiding the parents, or how do you go about gauging the aptitude and getting them to the right education courses which will lead them to success in future?
This is actually interesting from the point of view is that who creates this feeling of what is in demand. Like parents come to me and say,
Right.
what has scope and what has scope and what will work. And I say, if you look at it that way today, setting up a food stall has the maximum scope. So will you set up a hotel for your child? So now that is where, now see, the concept is people have been linking, as you rightly said, education as an investment. I'll give you a small example. A parent came to me and he said that I want to put my son to IIT coaching, and I'm going to put him in XYZ coaching class. And I said, good, but why do you want to put him for IIT coaching? He says, because I want him to be an IIT engineer. I said, beautiful. So now suppose, have you checked whether he is, how is he in maths Olympiad, physics Olympiad, chemistry Olympiad? So he's like, what is that? I'm not aware of it. I said, cool. Are you aware what are the subjects in IIT? Then he said, yeah, some science subjects. I said, not some science, only 3, physics, chemistry, maths. And then if you are looking at an all India level, then you have to obviously see who are the people you are competing with. Because for IIT to get in, out of 7-8 lakh people, there are only 15,000-20,000 people who get in. Right. Those are the top percentile of physics, chemistry, maths. Right. If it is there in you, it always stays with you. And there is I always tell, like we work in the region of Raigad, where there are people who are 10th just passing out, or just even, like I will give you a very, a beautiful example. We work with Ronnie Screwvala. He has a foundation which works in Raigad region of Maharashtra, and every year they sponsor around 200-300 schools and 6,000-7,000 students whom we help in this 10th standard and 12th standard students to create a plan for next 3 years, 5 years, based on the way they are. So once we went with Ronnie to check out how things are. So we went to one of the schools and we tried to call the students who we have counseled and guided, whether they are following, not following. So one girl, who was just passed out of 10, and she came smiling. So Ronnie was asking, so what are you doing now? She said, no, sir, actually I failed in 10th standard. So he said, why are you smiling if you have failed in 10th standard? He said, sir, because this sir told me I will become beautician. I have already joined a course and I have started my beautician course. I will clear my 10th some other time. So that confidence is where Johnny will, now we are actually making a change to this, because these people realize that even a beautician, a retail salesman, a plumber, or a farmer for that matter, or a fisherman, all of them have a career. There is a requirement, and every career is respectable. You cannot say that a scientist is far more respectable than a farmer, because everybody has a role to play. You cannot make the entire society monolithic, saying that this is how it should all be. And that's where we are trying to come across, saying that forget what the world is telling you. Which are the top relevant careers available for the next 20-30 years? So we have done that research. We have a database of 3,000 careers. And then we try to find out of those 3,000 careers, the way you are naturally, which are the top 25 or 30 careers that suit you. So let's do that mapping. Let's find out. Let us find your core strengths the way you are. There is nothing right, wrong. Everybody has certain strengths, certain weakness. Either you are a people's person, you're not a people's person. You're a detailed person, you're not a detailed person. Whatever it is, just find out your core strengths, and then where these strengths match and which are the careers that would suit you. There will be so many careers, people, that suit a person, but they are not even aware of. So they don't even think on those lines. I mean, I can go on giving you so many examples. Right. Another example, just during COVID, I got a call. This is just, last month. And the parent was saying that, sir, do you remember I had come with my son? And then I recollected he was a doctor. He had come to me 4 years back from Nasik. And his problem was his son was a 95-97% student, but he had started getting into depression. He was on medication and they were worried, only son. So both mother, father are actually doctors, and somebody gave them reference and they drove down here, came to my office. And then when I took the test, I realized that this person is quite brilliant, yes. But he was being forced by the coaching classes, because he was used as a whipping horse, that you have to be the first so that we can put your photo on that, after 10th results. So they were asking, once he gets 96, they are asking him, get 97. Once he gets 97, get 98. So he's getting into that depression, and he's not realizing how long and how much more. And suddenly he gave up. So once we took into the test, I realized that he was good if he could get into food sciences, or if you could get into areas which is like, wine making, cheese making, and these like that. So, which was surprising to the father. And he said, no, sir, how can we do this? We are both doctors. We want to make him into medical. I said, sir, this is what it looks like. And these are the drawbacks or areas where he has to develop if he wants to become a good doctor. Or again, we don't say doctor, we always say dermatologist or ophthalmologist or whichever specific veterinarian. So we asked to get this career, these are the various drawbacks in this career. So they were like, let us think on it. And so it went off. And then probably for next 2-3 years, we were not in touch. And suddenly he called me after 4 years. And then he was telling me, sir, my son has called me to tell you, thank you. I said, for what? He said, the last 4 years we tried to put him in 12 science, do this. He just couldn't get anywhere, and he was getting into more and more frustration. Finally, this year, we decided that let's look at what you were telling, and he applied, and now he is doing his BSc in food science in winery etymology or something in Australia. He's gone there. He's already in the top college there, and from there now he asked me that at last we have reached where we were thinking we should have, but I couldn't understand at that time. So most of the time people also need to go through the worst experiences to realize. So we try to do the job of showing them the mirror. It is then up to them whether they accept the picture or they don't accept. It is finally their call, but we try to give a genuine career guidance, which is actually lacking.